Something that we've been having a bit of a challenge, I'm happy to share that in raw selection, has been when we've got some of those maybe deals and getting them to closes. Now, what I think good recruiters do, what recruiters do is they just hope things are going to come through and they'll just let things happen. Sometimes they do, and the client closes it for you. What good recruiters do is they start to work on things when offers come in. And what great recruiters do is they have and qualify everything towards the end. The ideal scenario, and if it doesn't do this, which sometimes it doesn't for me, and put myself on some kind of high horse here, but if you have a process that gets to offer and they don't accept the role, you've made a mistake and you've got to reflect back and see what you've missed out on. Now, sometimes you will get there and you'll know they're not going to accept, but they get the offer and they go for another job. Fair enough. You could still maybe change things and improve things and reflect on it. Sometimes they get the job and you could change quite a few things and reflect on it. But if you're getting processes coming through to the end and you're having to block and tackle loads and loads of issues, then it's because you're not managing it through the process and understanding the client's reservations, the candidate's reservations, and that's what this is all about. Right, second point is something I've noticed that we've got a bit of a weakness in the business, and this comes down to the level of experience of people we have in the organisation, no offence, but true, closing deals, okay? We have an issue with getting deals to close. Now, this includes me in this. If anybody in this business gets a candidate to final interview, in fact, if anyone in this business gets a candidate to offer stage, and we don't close that business, there's no point looking at the flaming candidate and blaming them. Right? You've done something wrong to get to that level. Now, this is going to go out obviously on the YouTube channel. There's loads of people that kick off about this, and I get it. But, they took another offer, and there's going to be scenarios where they take another offer. But if we run a scale of 1 to 4 of a deal closing, it should be on 1, which means no chance of it closing, or like 1% of the chance of it closing, then okay, we know what's going through. And you should be managing your expectations for that. I think this is going to be a 1, Alex. I'm not even getting excited. I'm not going to invest a huge amount of time, of your time, of my time maybe, into closing this because we don't think it's going to come off. Or it's a 4, and this is the measurement I use with our work in progress file, and it's a dead cert. Everything's done, unless the candidate fucking gets hit by a bus on the way to the final meeting, this is the deal, okay? So, one of the challenges we have is we aren't getting through enough of those, really understanding the closes and really understanding the reservations and the positioning. So how do we understand whether it's a 1 or 2 or 3 or a 4? It means we have to ask really difficult questions. It means we have to dive into what are the candidates' reservations. Now, what most recruiters do is, what most recruiters do is just let things happen, and if a deal comes off, great. Now, what good recruiters do is they support that process, and then at the end they start getting all the candidates' reservations, all the queries, concerns, worries, etc., and then they try and close the deal. That's hard. What great recruiters do is all the way through the process, what your reservations, what queries, what questions, what things, what issues, what's changed, what needs to happen here, what needs to happen there. Basically, conversations there, what would stop you taking this job, what would stop this going forward. Asking those questions all the way through. Because then when you get to completion phase, you might only be dealing with, or you should only be dealing with, compensation. And if you've done your job really well, it's just a clean close. Now, there's instances, most notably recently, with people like, what's their name, but with firms that we've closed and things and deals that I've run from start to finish, and they haven't been clean. And I look back and go, what could I have done differently? And there's always going to be hard factors. Yes, I got them closed anyway, but there's always going to be difficult ones. But if we are and there's always going to be tough deals. But all that does is make you better. The difference between good recruiters and great recruiters is good ones think that it was the market and then the candidate and everything else that caused the issues. Great recruiters think, what could I have done differently? Now, with that recent deal that everyone knows it was a real pain in the arse to close and get over the line, I've had to really think about what I could have done differently during those conversations. And I've looked back at the emails that I've sent, I've looked back at the conversations that I've had to understand whether or not I can improve that process. Okay? So making sure for you guys, you're doing exactly the same. So we're going to upgrade and develop the closure process and the candidate feedback process, and we've already got some in training that we're going to build into the CRM type process. But what I want you to think about is any processes that you've got at the moment, are we asking those questions? What deals are going on at the moment that are offer stage, and we've just got too much to deal with. Because when there's 5, 6, 7 things that the candidate's got reservations about, you're going to close that out in like the period of 2 or 3 days, which could have been stretched over 2 or 3 weeks, a month with the process going through. There's no need for it to take considerably longer for it to go through on that basis. So what I want you to all think about is going through that. We're going to offer more training on it, but all I want to bring into here is asking those questions during the whole process. What's changed? What are your reservations? What are your concerns? What are your issues? What are your concerns now you've had that conversation with them? What do you like about this role? Making notes, I like this, I like this, I like this. What do you dislike about this role? Well, this is an issue, that's an issue, this is an issue. I want to make sure we get the right opportunity. I want to make sure we get this opportunity secured for you if you wish to do it. And asking the same of the client, what the reservations about the candidate, what do you like about the candidate, sharing that process, encouraging client interaction, but we need to focus more on getting that information going all the way through the process, because if you're getting to close and it isn't simple, you could have done something better.